Rum is a liquor made by fermenting and then distilling sugarcane molasses or sugarcane juice. The resulting clear liquid is often aged in oak barrels. Rum originated in the Caribbean in the 17th century. However, a similar drink called broom has been made by the Malay people for thousands of years. Marco Polo noted a very good wine of sugarcane in 14th century Iran. Maria Dembinska mentions that King Peter of Cyprus brought rum to the Congress of Krakow in 1364 as a gift for other royals, which is likely since Cyprus was a major sugar producer in the Middle Ages. This early version of rum, mixed with an almond milk drink called sumada, might not have been like modern rums. Rum production in Brazil dates back to the 1520s. Sanskrit texts also mention shidhu, a drink made by fermenting sugarcane juice. Many historians now believe that rum making reached the Caribbean islands, along with sugarcane and its cultivation methods from Brazil. The common history of modern rum suggests it was invented in the Caribbean in the 17th century by slaves on sugarcane plantations. They found that molasses, a byproduct of sugar refining, could be fermented into alcohol and then distilled. The earliest record of this is a 1651 document from Barbados, specifically mentioning the island of Nevis. By the late 17th century, rum had replaced French brandy as the preferred trade alcohol in the triangle trade. Canoemen and guards on the African side of the trade, who were previously paid in brandy, were now paid in rum. After rum was developed in the Caribbean, its popularity spread to colonial North America. To meet the growing demand, the first rum distillery in the 13 colonies was established on Staten Island in 1664. Boston, Massachusetts, followed with a distillery 3 years later. Rum production soon became colonial New England's largest and most prosperous industry. Due to their technical skills, metalworking, cooperage expertise, and abundant lumber, New England produced a lighter rum more similar to whiskey. Much of this rum was exported, with distillers in Newport, Rhode Island, even creating an extra strong rum to be used as currency in the slave trade. At one point, Rhode Island rum was accepted as currency in Europe alongside gold. Despite New England's success in producing consistent and affordable rum, the best rums were still considered to come from the Caribbean. Before the American Revolutionary War, rum consumption in the colonies was high, with each person consuming an average of 14 liters annually. In the 18th century, the demand for sugar, molasses, rum, and slaves intensified the triangular trade. France banned rum production in its New World colonies to protect its domestic brandy industry, allowing New England distillers to undercut British West Indies producers by purchasing cheaper molasses from French plantations. This led to the Molasses Act of 1733, imposing a heavy tax on molasses imported into the 13 colonies from foreign countries. Compliance and enforcement were minimal, as the tax threatened to put New England distilleries out of business. The strict enforcement of the Molasses Act's successor, the Sugar Act, in 1764, may have contributed to the American Revolution. In the slave trade, rum was often used as a medium of exchange. For example, the enslaved man Venture Smith was purchased in Africa for 4 gallons of rum and a piece of calico. Rum remained popular after the American Revolution. George Washington even insisted on a barrel of Barbados rum for his 1789 inauguration. Rum also played a role in politics, with candidates trying to win votes by generously distributing rum and drinking with the people to show their independence and Republican values. Eventually, restrictions on sugar imports from the British West Indies and the rise of American whiskeys led to a decline in rum's popularity in North America. Rum's link to piracy began with English privateers who traded in the valuable commodity. Many privateers turned to piracy and buccaneering, bringing their love of rum with them. This connection was further popularized by literary works like Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. The Royal Navy's association with rum started in 1655 after they captured Jamaica. With access to locally produced rum, the British switched the daily liquor ration for seamen from French brandy to rum. Initially, the rum was given neat or mixed with lime juice. However, around 1740, Admiral Edward Vernon began watering down the rum to reduce its intoxicating effects, creating a mixture called grog. The Royal Navy continued the tradition of giving sailors a daily rum ration, known as a tot, until it was abolished on July 31, 1970. Rum became a key trade item in the early days of the colony of New South Wales due to the lack of coinage and its ability to help settlers forget the harsh conditions. The value of rum was so high that convict settlers were often persuaded to work for the New South Wales Corps officers in exchange for it. The colony developed a reputation for drunkenness, although alcohol consumption was actually lower than in England at the time. The penal colony, established in 1788, faced severe food shortages due to poor crop growing conditions and a lack of livestock. It was eventually deemed cheaper for India rather than Britain to supply Sydney. By 1817, 2/3 of the ships leaving Sydney headed to Java or India, and cargoes from Bengal sustained the colony. Casks of Bengal rum, known for being stronger and less sweet than Jamaican rum, were smuggled ashore by the Royal Marines, despite orders from the governors to search every docking ship. British merchants in India profited from sending ships to Sydney loaded with rice and low-quality spirits. Rum played a central role in the only military coup in Australian history, the Rum Rebellion. When Governor William Bligh tried to curb drunkenness by banning rum as a medium of exchange, the New South Wales Corps reacted. In 1808, they marched to Government House, arrested Bligh, and controlled the colony until Governor Lachlan Macquarie arrived in 1810.